What's perfectly legal, but creepy AF? Someone mentioned child beauty pageants earlier, and it really reminds me of something similar in cheerleading clubs. Like 6-year-old girls would have an odd increase in the number of older men in the audiences, but we noticed that they would come alone and not really speak to anyone else, and then leaving right after. It was really suspicious, and our teammates were on edge whenever we would see such an occurrence. Standing across the street from someone's house to stare into windows. The cops can't do anything unless it's a repeated thing. Even then, it's hard for them to intervene if the stalker is on public land. Are you just outside your property line and not crossing it? Or hanging around your building in public areas? Oh, and leaving cameras in public areas of evidence. I know they technically have to tell you, but I know sometimes they just don't. I understand why they're there, but it's still creepy. As far as I know, the act of grooming a minor on his own is legal because what constitutes as grooming can be difficult to define. It's only when someone commits the criminal act of pedophilia that grooming can be tacked on as an extra charge. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong though. I don't necessarily know enough about this kind of thing because I'm not exactly Googling those kind of legalities. Private investigators filming you from a vantage point that is not on your actual property. X used to work for a firm that handled cases for insurance companies and workers' comp that looked to prove the people they were paying out to weren't actually injured. Carrying groceries, picking up a case of water at a grocery store, or raking leaves was more than enough evidence for them. There's nothing stopping you from faking cancer. You can even start a blog to post Photoshop pictures of yourself looking like a cancer victim. You can write fictional updates of your cancer journey in support groups for undeserved empathy and updates. If you're committed, you can maintain this elaborate, pointless, manipulating long con for years. Public masturbation in North Carolina. So long as your dick isn't visible, you can apparently stroke it in your pants on the sidewalk next to an elementary school for all the cops care. A guy did it at my retail job. We called the cops because he freaked out the cashier girl, and they refused to do anything more than trespass him. Taking ultra-high res pictures of a skyline and zooming into people's apartments. Realized this when I was testing out my new camera. Creeps could literally take photos of you changing in your 21st story apartment and you'd be none the wiser, and it'd be perfectly legal as this just looked like skyline photos zoomed out a little. If you have a boy, you can chop off a piece of his dick if you want to. No regard to how he will feel about it. Circumcisions are creepy as fuck. It blows my mind people think they should have a right to alter someone else's dick. My body, my choice should apply to everyone. Letting those smartphones be equipped with cameras. It's inevitable to use it in our daily life now, and we are already so used to it. But I sometimes think that it is creepy to be photographed by someone else even when I don't recognize it. The Philippines age of consent of 12 years old. Really cringe, and the saddest and scariest part is that the locals don't even know that. That's why if my kids want to go to the Philippines, I'll be like, when you turn 18. Age of consent laws in Nigeria have entered the chat. Important edit: Nigeria has an age of consent of 18. I have fallen victim to many sensationalist articles claiming it was 11. Nigeria have been this way inclined since 2003. Anyone over 26 dating an 18-year-old. I don't care to hear about how you met your husband or wife when you were 30 and they were 18 and you've been married for 25 years. Even if it all worked out. It's creepy. Adult MFS being in a relationship with people who's less than 20 YO. IDC if they're legal. They're barely young adult. If you're with an 18, 19 or 20 while being an adult yourself, FCKU pedophile. Porn videos constantly titled teen, young, or virgin. Pedophilia is way more rampant and accepted than anyone realizes. Pretending to fuck a child is just as bad as doing it. I said what I said. Using binoculars or a telescope to spy from your property onto another's as long as you don't violate their privacy, such as watching them undress or go to the bathroom. Filming people randomly. Especially the people who do it just because it's legal. They are the epitome of "you're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole." In the US, only Idaho explicitly bans cannibalism, which is creepier that the other states do, or that Idaho had a reason to make it so very clear. 40-year-old skater dudes hitting on college girls. Although the illegal part comes when they kill one and dumps her body. Google Ben Foley. Full-grown adults in sunglasses without children who sits on the bench right by the playground only to watch the kids play around all day. A 40-year-old dating a high school senior. Technically, the high schooler is above the legal age of consent. But that's creepy as fuck. Just staring. Not even necessarily at someone. Even just stood on the street and staring at the beautiful sky. Legal, but creepy. Someone reposting this question for the millionth time, and me getting déjà vu sometimes in this subreddit from all the reposts. Walking the same direction as someone at night. Like, I swear to God I'm not following you. I just also live this direction too. Sniffing someone's train bus seat right after they get up while making direct eye contact before they get off the train bus. Remote work allows HR people to use the company laptop to watch you at home, even when you aren't working. Eating mayonnaise right out of the jar with your hands and wearing a shirt that says mayonnaise is love. The thread is sad. A bunch of sex abuse victims. Like, why else would so many people's mind go to that? Me 48 meters if I were to start dating an 18-year-old. Perfectly legal. Yes. Weird and creepy. Also yes, you can technically have sex with your first cousin in Australia. You just can't have kids with them. Almost anything with children. No matter how well-intentioned. Especially if you're a guy. Slowly driving an ice cream truck around the neighborhood with the music on at night. Gently caressing and whispering to freight trains as they pull into the station. Sitting at a park bench staring at people extensively while flossing your teeth. Taking photos of people in public without asking. It's legal, but very invasive. Making prolonged intense eye contact with strangers while smiling and nodding. People taking photos of women and kids and calling it street photography. A romantic or sexual relationship between a 16-year-old and a 7-year-old. Theatrical hypnosistism. When I click my fingers, you're Joe Biden. Marrying your cousin. Seriously. Massachusetts needs to fix this shit. Taking a glass of water from your house and going for a walk outside. A grown-ass man can marry a literal child in most states in America. Being like 30 and waiting until a girl turns 18 so you can date her. Sniffing little kids' hair at news conferences. Your president. Go to the store and buy diapers, Vaseline and a single cucumber. Jimmy Page is a legitimate pedophile and he was never charged. These are some weird-ass comments and I'm here for laughing. Laughing out loud while urinating in a crowded public restroom. Facing the wrong way while riding an elevator with strangers. Sitting on a park bench. Eyeing little girls with bad intent. Taking pics vids of random people in weird. Upskirting in the Tennessee. Happened to a friend of mine. Children's beauty pageants. They should not fucking exist. Leaving a somewhat large watermelon on someone's doorstep. Dating someone outside of the half your age plus 7 rule. Putting cameras on a suit and recording talks with dates. 50-year-old man can marry a 17-year-old in many states. Looking inside someone's house from a public place. Filming or taking pictures of strangers in public.